together for Firecracker and Sister Sage!
The fourth season of the twisted superhero drama series The Boys has introduced some unique characters, and Sister Sage is easily the pick of the lot. This new addition to the Seven has been handpicked by Homelander personally to assist him after Ashley informs him about the unique superpower of Sage, intelligence. She's the smartest person in the world, and so far, we've seen how her expert opinions and clever plans have worked to the benefit of Homelander and Vought. However, her unique physiological features and traits require a deeper analysis, and in this video, we'll explore every little detail about her anatomy. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
It's the last time you got a chance like that.
How did Sister Sage gain her superpowers? Exploring her background. Like most of the other Supes in The Boys, Sister Sage, aka Jessica Bradley, gained her powers from the unique Vought product Compound V. Her parents accepted a generous offer made by the company when she was only a baby, and the injection of Compound V turned her into a Supe whose ability was superhuman intelligence. She was briefly a part of the Teenage Kicks, which was a group of teenage superheroes who were assembled to fight crime. Vought International funded and managed them, and most of the members of this team, except for A-Train, moved on with their lives. Even Sister Sage was barely on the team for a year before she left. After all these years, her name was brought up by Ashley when she suggested recruiting a new member for the Seven. Among the various names that popped up on her slideshow, Sister Sage had a promising quality that Homelander was looking for. He knew that he's surrounded by people who are not courageous enough to tell him when he's wrong, and he personally went to convince Sister Sage to join him. She agreed only because she realized that it would be the perfect opportunity to gain prominence and publish her theories worldwide by proving them right. When we get a brief glimpse of Sister Sage's room, we do not see a single picture of her family, which might suggest that she's not on good terms with them. It can be seen that she doesn't appreciate how her family gave her up for a lab experiment conducted by Vought, or it can simply be seen that she doesn't have time for family ties and spends all her time reading and thinking in her apartment.
By starlight for reasons they can't even explain.
Dope.
What is Sister Sage's superpower and how does it work? While most other Supes in the Boys universe have some obvious superpowers to work with, Sister Sage has quite a subtle special ability that's not easily visible unless closely observed. Instead of physiological specialties, Sage is powerful because of her brain. She's the smartest person in the world because of her high intelligence and quick thinking. She has an insane understanding of all worldly knowledge, and she also happens to be a master of human psychology, which allows her to analyze those around her and predict their moves and thinking. Sage is capable of outmaneuvering the smartest of opponents, and so far she's proven herself to be the most valuable asset of Homelander. What Homelander couldn't accomplish with all his mighty superpowers, Sage did simply by pulling the right strings and triggering the right people. She has a photographic memory and can process information faster and more efficiently than any normal human. What's the theory behind the mysterious lobotomy? Why does she need it? At the end of episode 3, there's a scene that has stirred the fan theories big time on the whole lobotomy saga. For those who don't know, lobotomy is a process of artificially manipulating the brain, sometimes using the most brutal methods, in order to make it work in a certain way. The procedure involves severing the connection between the frontal lobe and the other parts of the brain. And earlier during the 1930s, this method of experimental treatment was used on certain mental health conditions. The third episode shows a moment where a mysterious orboclost tool is lying on a table and it's bloodied, suggesting the possibility that it has been used. The scene starts off with Sister Sage casually chilling on a couch, and she's relaxing while binging a reality TV show. She's also enjoying some fast food in the form of a bloomin' onion from Outback Steakhouse. And at this moment, another member of the Seven, Deep, walks in to confront her. However, he stopped quite early in his resolve because Sister Sage starts to come on to him. She first asks him if he wants to watch Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen with her, and then proceeds to make a move on him, which is quite a bizarre moment considering how Sister Sage is the smartest person on the planet, and Deep is probably the dumbest member of the team. They start getting physically intimate, and the camera soon pans down to a table nearby, where a lobotomy orboclost tool is lying. This tool is used to perform transorbital lobotomy, and the procedure is as brutal and unnerving as you can imagine. It's driven through the back of the eye socket under the upper eyelid and lodged into the brain, and this process severs the connection between the frontal lobe and the thalamus. and the whole procedure is done with the intention of making the patients calmer, and because of how difficult and painful the procedure is, it's rarely used in the real world. Further details are revealed in the next episode, when Sister Sage asks Deep to perform the lobotomy on her. She explains that her brain regenerates constantly, and because of the burden of her intelligence, she needs to switch off her brain briefly with the lobotomy. It allows her to enjoy the activities of normal people, and because of her brain's regenerative ability, the condition soon corrects itself. She makes Deep her trusted confidant, luring him in with physical intimacy, and he drives the Orbocloss tool above her eye and pushes it into her brain with a hammer, in what is probably one of the most disturbing scenes this season. Is this Sister Sage's way of unwinding? Sister Sage, the world's smartest person, has been one of the most interesting Supes in Season 4 without a doubt. Being smart and incredibly knowledgeable is her primary superpower, and Homelander, the troubled leader of the Seven, realizes the importance of her in his superhero team. He heads out to recruit her personally, and promises to listen to her instructions, and offers her respect, something that has been missing from her life so far. She agrees to become a part of the team, and ever since her recruitment, we've seen her make some really smart decisions that have benefited Homelander and Vought International immensely. However, it might be the case that the job has turned out to be simply too stressful, and Sister Sage needs a few moments to unwind. It's not easy being the smartest person in the world, and she probably needs some time to herself when she can turn her brain off. This would explain how she manages to enjoy a dumb reality TV program and indulge in fast food, and it would also simplify her act of intimacy with someone as Deep, who's way below her standards. We just wish she had something better up her sleeve to unwind instead of performing such a ghastly act. Did Homelander's actions cause her to panic and resort to lobotomy? Working with the Seven under the leadership of Homelander has its perks, but there's also the constant state of anxiety and stress. We've seen the likes of Ashley, the previous CEO of Vought, and several Supes under Homelander in constant fear because of how unpredictable Homelander can be. Sister Sage's ideas about the job might have been quite different from the vicious truth that she encounters while working under Homelander. He does go ahead with her plans, but there are times when he continues to lose his temper and acts whimsically. For instance, in a previous scene, they were interrogating a female official working for Vought because there were indications that she might have smuggled valuable intelligence to Starlight that allowed her to prove the innocence of her followers who were accused of murdering a few Homelander fans. Sister Sage was conducting the interrogation smartly, trying to make the employee feel at ease and allowing her the time to confess. However, Homelander lost his patience after the employee admitted to having a connection with Starlight and lasered her through her head. She dropped dead instantly, and everyone, including Sister Sage, was left shocked by the brutality and randomness of Homelander's actions. This whole incident might have put Sage on edge, and she might have realized that the slightest wrong move could end up in a similar situation for her. The anxiety, trauma, and panic caused by the violent act of Homelander could have driven her to perform a lobotomy on herself to stop herself from thinking about it constantly and relax for a while. Who performed the lobotomy on Sage previously? We've seen Sister Sage reaching out to Deep for some assistance with the lobotomy, and it makes sense because the process doesn't look like it can be self-performed. However, given how shocked Deep is when he is informed about it, it's quite clear that he did not help her with it last time. In the previous episode, there were clear indications that Sister Sage had a lobotomy, but the question remains who helped her with the procedure. She can't trust someone like Ashley, and she also cannot go up to the likes of Homelander seeking assistance for some leisurely lobotomy. Firecracker is a likely option because she'd been recruited by Sister Sage and will not betray her trust and give out her secret. But the fact that the narrative chooses to hide the person who helped her with the lobotomy earlier makes us wonder if there are some bigger secrets in the mix of things. It'll be very interesting to find out who helped her with the lobotomy earlier and how Homelander will react that his favorite Supe has a very weird way of relaxing. What are the implications of the lobotomy process? Sister Sage may have undergone a lobotomy because of her anxiety and stress from working with Homelander, but what is of bigger concern is the implication of the procedure. For starters, the act of lobotomy makes it clear that she has seeds of doubt about being Homelander's sidekick, and maybe his violent outbursts have made her realize that he cannot be trusted. There are many who have wondered if Sage has a longer game and bigger motives, and if she's merely using Homelander as a tool to further her own mission. The act of lobotomy even strengthens this theory, because this might be her way of cooling off in order to gain more patience for the times to come. She knows that she has to hang in there tight, no matter what Homelander does, and the lobotomy is simply a temporary escape from the harsh brutality of being an accomplice to the vicious and twisted Homelander. One of the most exciting implications of the lobotomy process is how this hints at the possibility that Sister Sage might go on to challenge her allegiances at some point. As the smartest fellow out there, she can surely see through the apocalyptic visions of Homelander, and by now she might have realized that his goals are not going to do her any good. The fact that she is driven to the point where she doesn't even hesitate before getting handsy with someone as disgusting as Deep shows that she's being tested to her limits. Don't be surprised if you see her changing sides and fighting against Homelander going ahead in the show. Is she vulnerable during a lobotomy? Sister Sage has several weaknesses because she lacks many of the special powers possessed by the average suit. However, her high level of intelligence is such that it can cover for all of her shortcomings. That being said, the entire act of lobotomy makes us realize that this can be a moment of vulnerability for her. Her intelligence is subdued for the time being, and even though it's a brief period, she's no more than a regular human at this moment. If the boys find out about her secret and plan an attack on her when she's in this lobotomized state, it's quite likely that Sage will be unable to find an escape route. This can be the easiest way to take her down, and we have to wait and watch to find out if this is implemented in the show at some point. Also, if her regenerative abilities are damaged by some means when she's in her lobotomized state, she's no more than a regular human and no longer a threat. We also wonder how the soup-killing virus will work on Sister Sage. Can Sage be killed by normal means? Sister Sage has no major physiological advantage, and she can be killed by normal means like any human being. Her regenerative powers are largely restricted to her brain, and she herself admits that a fatal blow to other major organs of her body, such as her heart, can prove to be deadly for her. If the boys can find a chink in her armor, they can simply shoot her dead, and it doesn't speak too highly for a superhero when MM can put a few bullets in her to have her killed. Does Sage possess any other superpowers apart from her intelligence? Sister Sage does not have super strength or any other notable superpowers, aside from her superhuman brain. However, she does have the ability to hear way better than humans. This super hearing allows her to hear high frequencies that will go undetected to human ears. This ability also becomes a drawback for her, because like most other supes, she's susceptible to high frequencies. We would love to hear from you in the comments below regarding your opinion on Sister Sage and her unique anatomy. Also, tell us if you think Sister Sage will be loyal to Homelander or betray him and side with the boys when the time is right. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone!